Let's be real for a second. In the world of logistics today, that line between making a profit and taking a loss is razor thin. I mean, it is getting thinner every single day. So everyone out there is looking for that competitive edge. Today, we're going to dive deep into a modern guide for getting that exact edge. And we're going to focus on two absolutely critical pillars: operational efficiency and rock-solid safety. Let's get into it.
So I want to kick things off with a question that honestly gets right to the heart of everything. I want you to take a really hard look at your operations. Is it actually possible that the way you move your freight, the methods you've probably relied on for years, are now the biggest anchor that's holding your business back? It's a tough question for sure, but in this explainer, we're going to unpack why it's probably the most important one you can ask yourself right now. So let's start in the world of e-commerce. It's a pressure cooker, right? Whether you're a shipper for a growing online brand or you're the carrier trying to keep their whole supply chain from falling apart, the stakes have never, ever been higher. It feels like a constant battle against the clock, against the budget, and against customer expectations that just keep going up and up.
And when you look at this list, this is the daily grind, isn't it? These are not just bullet points on a slide. These are massive operational fires that you are putting out every single day. Missing a delivery window? That's not just a little delay. It's a huge, costly penalty that eats directly into your profit. Unpredictable shipment volumes mean you're either scrambling to find a truck or you're paying for empty space you're not even using. And you're dealing with all of this while trying to keep inventory costs down and manage the constant headache of just making it all work on margins that are already paper thin. That is a really shaky foundation to build a business on.
So why is that foundation so shaky? Well, a huge part of the problem is that so many of us are trying to navigate these super fast, hyper-flexible demands of modern e-commerce using shipping methods that were designed for a totally different era. It's like the old roads just can't handle the new traffic. Let's break down exactly what that means by looking at the two traditional shipping methods most folks are kind of stuck with. And here's where you see the classic dilemma. On one side, you've got less than truckload, LTL. Yeah, it's fine for smaller shipments, but your freight gets handled over and over and over again. It goes from a truck to a terminal, back to another truck. Sometimes this happens multiple times. This old hub and spoke system just slows everything down, you have no idea where your stuff is, and the risk of damage goes through the roof. Then, on the other side, you've got full truckload, FTL. It's fast, it's direct, but you have to pay for the whole truck, even if you only fill up half of it. So for a growing brand with mid-sized loads or demand that's all over the place, neither of these is a great fit. You're constantly having to choose the lesser of two evils.
But what if you didn't have to choose? What if there was a third way, a modern blueprint designed specifically for the challenges we've just been talking about? This is where the concept of shared truckload, or STL, comes into the picture, and trust me, it is a genuine game changer.
So what is shared truckload? The definition's right there, but let me put it another way. Imagine if you could get the cost-sharing benefits of LTL, but you get the speed and the direct route of a full truckload. That's STL. It's kind of like a carpool for your freight, but it's a carpool that takes the fastest highway and never ever stops at a terminal along the way. Your shipment gets on one truck, and it stays on that one truck all the way to the end. Okay, so the first big win here is reliability. Remember those crazy expensive penalties for missed delivery windows? Well, with a direct route and zero time wasted sitting around at terminals, the risk of missing those windows just plummets. Your freight gets where it needs to go when it needs to be there. And this isn't just about avoiding fees. It's about building trust with your customers and your retail partners. It's huge.
And right on the heels of reliability is just pure, unadulterated speed. By cutting out all the cross-docking and the terminal transfers that just bog down the old LTL network, you can literally slash your transit times. For anyone selling online, that speed is a competitive weapon. It means you can restock your products faster, you can react to what's happening in the market way quicker, and you can keep your stuff in front of your customers. And, of course, it always comes down to the bottom line, right? With STL, you're only paying for the space your freight actually takes up on the truck. The key here is that your shipping costs become elastic. They breathe with your business. So whether your volumes are surging during the holidays or contracting at a slow month, your costs scale right along with you. You're not just throwing money away, paying for air and a half-empty FTL trailer. That kind of flexibility is absolutely vital for managing those tight margins we talked about. Finally, here's a benefit that is so important, but it gets overlooked all the time: damage reduction. Think about it. Every single time freight is moved from a truck to a dock and back again, there's a chance it gets dropped or smashed or even lost.
Since STL keeps your freight on one single truck for the whole journey, the number of times it gets touched is drastically reduced. And that means your products show up looking perfect, which protects your brand's reputation and saves you all the cost and hassle of returns and replacements.
Now, I know what you're thinking. All of this sounds great in theory, but does it actually work in the real world? Well, let's look at a fantastic case study. CJK Linens is a top 100 brand on Amazon. We're talking a company at the absolute highest level of e-commerce. And their story just shows the incredible power of making the switch to shared truckload. The results were immediate and they were massive. Just look at this number. They slashed their transit times by over 25% compared to their old LTL shipments. In the hyper-competitive world of Amazon, getting your product to a fulfillment center a quarter faster than your competition, well, that's a monumental advantage. And it wasn't just faster, it was a whole lot cheaper. CJK Linen saw a 23% decrease in their transportation costs compared to what they would have paid for a standard truckload. That is a huge saving that goes directly back into the business, letting them invest in growth or marketing or new products. This next number is my favorite because it shows how this one operational change can transform the entire business. Because their shipping was suddenly so much faster and more reliable, they were able to reduce the amount of inventory they had to keep on hand by up to 50%. Think about that. That's less cash tied up in stock and a massive reduction in warehouse storage fees. It's a total game changer.
And hey, you don't have to take my word for it. Listen to what their senior logistics manager, Katie Friend, had to say. Before working with Flock Freight, it was impossible to optimize our inventory. That word right there, impossible. That tells you everything you need to know. STL didn't just improve their system, it allowed them to do something they literally could not do before. That is the definition of a competitive advantage.
So I want to pause right here and turn this over to you. I want you to seriously think about it for a moment. What would a 23% reduction in your transportation costs mean for your operation? What could you do with a 50% reduction in inventory? Drop your thoughts in the comment section below. I would genuinely love to read how a shift like this could impact your business.
Okay, so we've seen how a solution like shared truckload can create unbelievable efficiency. But what good is the fastest, most cost-effective truck in the world if it never actually reaches its destination? To truly lock in all these gains, you have to secure the other equally important pillar of profitability, safety and compliance. Just let that sink in for a second. You can have the most advanced logistics, the fastest routes, the most cost-effective loads, all perfectly lined up. But what happens if that truck gets sidelined on the highway because of a compliance issue? What if your driver gets pulled from service during a DOT inspection? Suddenly, all of that efficiency, all that hard work, it means absolutely nothing.
This brings us to a much bigger concept, total fleet optimization. And this is the fundamental understanding that true sustainable profitability isn't just about moving freight faster or cheaper. No, it's about strategically combining that operational efficiency with a foundation of rock-solid regulatory and safety compliance. Because one without the other is just a recipe for disaster. And this slide lays it out perfectly. There are two equal pillars holding up your entire business. On one side, you've got everything we've been talking about, your operational efficiency. But on the other, you have the pillar of regulatory compliance. And this is the non-negotiable stuff, the DOT and FMCSA drug and alcohol testing, proper consortium management, being ready for an audit at any moment. This isn't just a bunch of paperwork, it's literally your license to operate. You can spend millions of dollars optimizing your routes and your load matching tech, but a truck pulled over on the side of the road because of a failed drug test or some other compliance violation has an efficiency rating of exactly 0%. All of your hard-won gains just vanish in an instant. And that brings me to my second question for you today. In your own operation, what feels like the bigger daily battle? Is it the logistics, finding the loads, moving the trucks, or is it the compliance, just keeping up with all the regulations and paperwork? I'm really curious to hear about your experiences, so please share them in the comments below. So, how do we put all this together? How do we build an operation that is both super efficient and completely, totally compliant? This is the path to total optimization, and it's how you build a real, lasting competitive edge in this industry. Here's a clear, actionable plan. First, diagnose your current shipping methods with an honest eye. Are they serving you or are they holding you back? Second, you have to actively explore modern solutions like shared truckload. Don't be afraid to innovate. Third, and this is so key, master your compliance. Don't treat it like an afterthought. You have to secure that foundation. And the absolute best way to do that is to partner with an expert. And finally, when you combine that incredible operational efficiency with bulletproof compliance, that's when you gain your edge and you can truly start to dominate your market.
And that third step, mastering your compliance, well, that's exactly where we fit into the puzzle. At LabWorks USA, our entire mission is to be that expert partner for you. We manage all the complexities of DOT and FMCSA drug and alcohol compliance, so you don't have to. We're the consortium and third-party administrator that makes sure your foundation is solid as a rock, so you can put 100% of your focus on that other pillar, keeping your trucks rolling, keeping them profitable, and keeping them safe.
So I'll leave you with one final thought to really chew on. Take a step back and look at your entire operation. Are you just in the business of moving freight from point A to point B? Or are you truly building a fleet that is optimized, from top to bottom, for maximum sustainable profit? The difference between those two questions is everything. If you were inspired with this video, please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, LabWorks USA. Feel free to share this video as well. Thank you.